Hello and welcome back to DriveDriverDriven. Back again on the Blunicorn project. Really trying to get everything put back together and wrapped up. Had kind of a bit of a time-lapse episode last time. Probably another little one today. Not a whole lot left to do. Just got to get some of the intake, axles, etc. Put on the car, and then get everything buttoned up, and hopefully we can get it started. So let's get on with it. So another little bit of time lapse there. A lot of struggle. Well, I should say a lot of struggle after the camera turns off. What I thought was going to be just quickly filling it with water, getting all the bubbles out of the system and starting it up for the first time since it was back together, turned into yet another debacle. Basically, the battery had gone flat. I had thought about putting it on the charger, but I really didn't think it needed it. Turns out I was right. And so I left it to charge and recondition the battery. Tried to pull it out the next morning, get it fired up, and it would turn over, but it didn't want to fire, which is actually a good thing in this case, because I started to smell fuel again. Everything's buttoned up again, harnesses run, everything's, battened down, zip tied, etc. Basically ready to go. I think I've mentioned it before, but just a pro tip when you're putting a slip fit together on the exhaust like these have, or even others, just hit it with a little bit of oil and everything will slide together. Yeah, it'll burn off when you start the car, but it sure makes life easy when you're getting that all together and lined up. So another problem I had run into was one of the exhaust manifold bolts here in the middle got cross-threaded just ever so slightly, and I had to pull apart this side just so I could chase the threads. It only got in like 1 or 2 deep, but that was just enough to munge everything up. So got in there with a tap, cleaned it up, got everything back together and put on. One of the changes that I'm doing this time around, as you'll see, there's no catch can, and I've eliminated the line that would go from our breather line over to the intake here. And this is a test for now. I can put it up later, but I want to see if this is why it was blowing oil before, if it's actually pulling oil vapor or oil cloud from the tank and it's just running it into the intake. So I just wanted to see if that was where that oil was coming from. So by eliminating that, now the engine's fully closed, the intake's fully closed off, or I should say the vent lines are fully closed off from the engine. So if it blows oil still, it's coming from somewhere else, maybe valves, seals, whatever, but we can at least eliminate our tank breather setup. So if we come onto our fuel leak, before it was leaking from down at the tank, now what's happened is, I think in all of the fiddling, it's difficult to see, but on the other end of this 90, down below, behind that filler neck, is another fitting down in this area. And unfortunately, that's high pressure fuel, and it's squeezing past the sealing ring in the fitting. And I don't know if when I was having to mess around with the hoses back there and pull things out of the way, if it had just pulled the fitting out of the hose a little bit. But for now, I'm going to have to take things apart again to get to that. I might be able to get away with just pulling the intake, our swirl pot, and our fuel line off, just so I can get to the underside of that thing and fix that hose end. I really don't want to pull the motor and trans again if I can avoid it. I think it's tight, But if I pull all this stuff out of the way, I'll be able to hopefully get that sorted and get everything buttoned up. But right now I killed the battery again, just troubleshooting, trying to figure things out and figure what was leaking. Well, I found it finally, and well, the battery's charging again, and I'll deal with that at a later date. So kind of the story recently, if it's not one thing, it's another. So, you know, whatever, it's trying. Yeah, it sucks. But if it's that or have the car burned to the ground again, I would much rather fix that. It's a really simple thing. It's just a pain in the ass to get to. And we'll get it fixed, and we'll get the car back up on the road. But it's just these little things, one after another, that just really beat down on your patience. So I need to let that sit, and rather than waste a really nice weekend, I think I'm going to get some work done on the Honda. So look forward to that next time. For now, though, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.